Hello all, I'm Tmzoids, your host with another Chalk Talk with Tony. I'm Tony, and today we have ForrestDecay, also known as Nick. How you doing, Nick?
I am doing fantastic, Tony. How are you doing?
Man, you seem really excited today. I'm doing good. Got off of work. I was like, oh man, what a day. Get to record one of these, which is always exciting.
Of course. These are
Always
always so
exciting.
much fun.
So the obvious question is ForrestDecay. How did this come up? You get the Sleepy Forest in League, and then you have ForrestDecay for your social medias. Is there a backstory of this? Do you just enjoy the forest? Is that somewhere you want to live?
Okay, to be honest, I really would love to live in like the forest if it had like high-speed internet. Like, I'd build my own house. It'd be all built by myself. And then as long as I had like high-speed internet, I'd be perfectly fine there.
Hey, that's
100%.
that's all we need is internet and a few video games. Be set.
I know. Oh, it's so simple, but yet so hard to get internet.
But no, on a serious note though, is there any specific background story to your name or anything of that extent?
I've actually gone through a lot of names over like the course of the past 20 years. And like this is finally the one that's like stuck for like the longest time. Like before I was known as Kakashi 227 because I loved Naruto as a kid, and then I went from that to Black Hawk. I changed Black Hawk because people used to make jokes about it. I'm pretty sure you can already tell in your mind of what jokes they're probably thinking of. And then I went to the Titans on League for a while, and then I went to, I don't know if I should say this, but Mr. Lonely Stoner because I listen to Kid Cudi all the time. And then I went to Forest Decay, and then after Forest Decay, I fell asleep after I took my medication.
Oh, were you in a game? Were you in a
No,
league
no,
game?
no. Me and you were talking, I think, and I fell asleep. And apparently, she came back because I think she went to go do something. She came back. She was like, Forrest, Forrest. And I was just knocked out in my chair. And apparently, I was knocked out so hard that I was snoring. And normally I don't snore, but I was snoring. And like the next day, she told me about it, and she was like, "Such a sleepy Forest." And I was like, "Oh, that sticks." So I changed my in-game name to Sleepy Forest, and pretty much everything will eventually be Sleepy Forest. It's just Twitch doesn't let me change my name in Twitch anymore, so
Hey, one day I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but they are trying to work it in with their like partners with Twitch, so maybe the partners can change up their name. So if you ever get partnered, it's a possibility. But they used to have it and then they took it away. I'm not too sure the whole background story of that, but I know they used to have it and then now no longer available on that ordeal.
yeah, because I see it in there, like it says where like you can delete your name and put another name in there, and it's just like this feature is no longer here, and I'm
Available.
like, oh,
Yeah, yeah. But talking about Blackhawk, because you were actually one of your users' names, you are in the service. What service are you in
I
specifically?
am in the U.S. Army.
U.S. Army. Now, how did you just want to go into the Army? Were you inspired by somebody to go into the Army?
What's it called? When I used to play at one of the LAN centers I used to go to all the time, one of my buddies, he was in what was it, the Air Force ROTC thing. So he was in college and he was in the Air Force thing. And a couple of my buddies from high school were talking about going into the service for a while. And I was always thinking about it, but then I was like, I really want to like stay at home and like further playing video games because at that point in time before I left for the military, I was really diving into video games a lot more in competitive play. And then I forgot what it was. It was probably, I think it was mainly because I was pissed off at my mom that I just said, all right, you know what? I'm going in the military. I'm going to leave for a while. I might like stay in the military for a while, make it a career, get out, get retirement. But yeah, I joined the military at 17, shipped off, what was it, January 1st, 2012. And I've been in the military ever since.
Dang. Well, thank you for serving. I appreciate it. Protecting our country, something I can't do. I'm too afraid, kind of afraid, But looking back at it now, if you were looking back and could tell your younger self that, would you take the same path, even if you were still pissed off at your mom or
Most
whatever the?
definitely.
Oh, you would still take the same path.
Just for the fact that I've met so many people that I consider family now. Like so many people that I probably never would have met ever. And a couple of my buddies here, like we go to the bar every like weekend to hang out. And now that like all three of us are like leaving, like around the same time frame, it's kind of like heartbreaking a little bit, and it's a little depressing. But what's it called? The amount of people that I've met through this is amazing. Like I have almost like any state I go to, I know someone there, and I could stay with them, and then they can show me around and all that, and it's pretty awesome, I have to say.
Well, it's always nice making friends. It's always a great thing. So were these your buddies the whole time you were in the army? I'm sure you've switched up. You said you met a lot of people. So it's just these are like your last three buddies that you were with for just a long, significant time, or I'm not too.
Yes. So I first to I went to basic and AIT, and that was over here in the States in South Carolina and Virginia. And then I met a couple people there, but I was only there for about 3 months at basic, and then like another 3.5 months for AIT. So like I knew people, but we like no one really like we hung out. It was just like, hey, what's up, man? But when like you go into like the real army, that besides from like the training side, like I was in Korea for a year, and I've met so many. Like one of my buddies, his name's Cho. He was in the Korean army, and what's it called? Me and him hung out. He league, played league. He used to take me all around Korea, and what's it called? Showing me, hey, this is the shit over here. This is really cool over here. You should be doing this. You should try this food. You should try that. Or hey, we should go down to the beach and all that stuff. And I was just, oh my god, this is amazing. And like, he was pretty much my best friend up there. One of my buddies, he got married up there, and I was pretty much his best man at his wedding.
Wow, that
Yeah, that was
uh,
something.
that's a big title right there, the best man.
I know, right?
Gee,
And then I came over here to New York for the last year and a half of my contract, and I met my buddies Banks, and I met my buddy Owens, and like ever since I got here, like we've been pretty much best friends, and now pretty much we're all just family to each other.
nice. And so, do they live there, or do you live? I'm sure you guys live all over the states. So you get to travel. Do you like traveling? Would you go back to Korea? Would that be a place you would want
Oh
to
my god,
just go
I would
tour?
love to go back to Korea. It was so nice.
Is it
I
just the
was,
food, or just the culture there, or anything specific that really just stood out to you that you really just, if you could go back, you could just keep doing it over and over and over?
yeah, anything 50 miles from the DMZ. Okay, once you get like the DMZ, 50 miles below that, and then from below that down is amazing.
It's like party zone. Do
That's
whatever you
like,
want, eat,
yeah, there's culture, there's history, then there's like great food. I even tried dog.
People are like, why? All the dog lovers now are probably like,
I know, and
no.
I'm a dog lover too, but my buddy, I told him, I was like, I heard this is supposed to be a thing over here. Can I try it? And do you know somewhere that I can try it? And he was a little mad because like most Koreans hate that stereotype that they eat dog.
I mean, fair enough. I mean,
Yeah, so he was like, I'm really mad that you asked me this question, but yes, I know a place where we can go eat that. And I was like, all right, let's go.
so was it good? That's the question. Would you eat
I,
it again?
I
Really?
definitely wouldn't eat it again. It was good. It was good. But I felt horrible after I ate it.
I I don't know if I could. If I knew what it was, I don't know if I could eat it. And maybe if you didn't tell me and you just were like, "Here, try this dish," I would maybe eat it. But other than
Yeah, like
that,
just
I don't.
shove the food in your like the food in your face, just like eat it and just yeah.
Pretty much, if they're like, "Here, this is something new," and then I'll eat it, and they'll be like, "You just ate this?" I'll be like, "Why? Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
I went in there full expecting of knowing what I was gonna eat and like the game plan and everything. And then after I was done eating, I was just like, oh, I feel like an asshole.
God." All the animal lovers are probably like, "Well, my heart's broken now."
Yeah,
Oh
he's a
man.
murderer. He kills dogs and eats them. Yep, that's me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you're almost done. You don't plan on staying. You don't plan on continuing your military career though, in any shape, way, or form, or you want to try something new, expand your horizons, kind of.
Right now, it's more along the lines of like I need a break from the military just so I like my body can like relax. Because not, I'm not gonna lie, being in the military, like you mentally age fast and your body really takes a beating. So like a year in the military can literally be like 2.5 years in like the civilian life on how like you think and all that. So you'll mature really fast and your body's gonna take a huge beating. Like right now, I just got MRIs in my shoulder and I've had problems with my knees and my back. So I need time to, let those heal. And then after maybe like a year or two being out, I might come back in. That's how I feel about it.
Understandable, understandable. But so all the gamers, I'm sure, are like, "Well, I don't want to know this. What? Let me get to the games, the video games." So I guess the obvious question is, when did you start playing video games? Or how did you get into the whole video game thing? It seems, as I mentioned every episode, it's a family thing. It was either, I played with my dad or my sisters or brothers. We played together, and it was a big thing starting then, and it just kind of steamrolled from there, and you became your, independent thing that you enjoy, or is it completely different? Were your family not for video games? They're like, "Why are you
Yeah,
playing this game?"
yeah, pretty much. Like I was the oddball child. Like what's it called? I grew up in California near LA, and like I didn't really live in the best of neighborhoods, and like my mom didn't really have that much money, and neither did like my great grandparents. And I lived pretty much in between both their houses. And I did not initially start playing video games for a while because I was playing card games. I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I moved from Yu-Gi-Oh to when my grandmother bought me this gigantic gateway tower and like the full gateway setup. That's how you know this is old. Like this is like gateway stuff.
Oh man.
Like with like the dots and it looked like a cow.
Yeah, I
The
know.
gateway sound looked like a cow, and but it was so amazing because I remember playing. What was it? I was playing Diablo or not Diablo. Doom. Doom was a big one.
It seems like that's where a lot of people start, either Doom or um, either what is it? There's another one, like a shooting game, fighter games, like the
Which one? Wow, I'm drawing a blank. Duck Hunt?
Duck Hunt. That would be more of a console game. I mean, I guess you could play on the computer, technically.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe. I don't know. Computers weren't that advanced back in the day.
So you started your video game playing on the computer, like that's where you originally started playing Doom.
Yes, I
Wow.
was playing Doom, and I was playing all like the basic games that came with like the computer, like the ping pong and the solitaire and all that stuff. That's where I started,
Oh.
100%.
So, did you keep continuing to play computer games, or did you go? Was there a time where you went to console and you kind of shifted into a console gamer, or did you never really get into the consoles? You didn't really care?
It's always been a really big back and forth thing. Like I started off with the gateway computer for a while, and then my grandmother bought me a Nintendo 64, and then I started playing all the Nintendo games, every Nintendo game that I can get my hands on, that I was able to afford and buy, or my grandmother was able to get me, like all of them. I remember just playing them all, spending countless hours behind the N64. Then you had to blow the disc or blow the cartridge every time it didn't want to work.
that
Yes, I know the struggles of blowing.
that was a pain. That was probably the worst. And then you would have to get like a Q-tip and like start cleaning it, and you're like,
Oh my god, it was so much maintenance for nothing.
uh,
So much maintenance for a kid.
you know, hey, it taught you responsibility. See, they say we're
It
not
really
responsible.
did. It taught me how to be clean in one little section. Not in a room, just in a section.
Once you clean this, you're fine. That's all you need.
Yeah, you got the soda cans in the back. It's just like, I'll worry about that later. I gotta get this clean.
So, is there a favorite Nintendo 64 game that really stuck out to you that you would, if there was a game you could go back playing right now, that would be the game. It didn't matter how old it is, it would be like, bar none, your favorite. Is it, you had the Mario Kart, I'm pretty sure, what was it, the famous 007 game, what else? Mario Party, I'm pretty sure they started on there also.
To be honest, I think it would be. Well, which one was it? It would be probably be Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers? Wow. Yeah, that's where they. Oh my God, it's been that long. They
It
started.
has been that long.
It has been that long. I can't. I remember. I remember when they started there. Now you can play online, and they
I
added a bunch
know
of
it's
different people.
so much more different. But yeah, I remember because I used to play with my mom's friend's son, and whenever my mom would go over to her house, me and him would instantly hop on the N64 and start playing Smash Bros. Brawl. And my mom used to always come in the room, "Shut up! Why?" "Okay, mom." And she'd come in hollering because we were being loud as loud can be, screaming and not really cussing at each other because we didn't know what cuss words were back then, but yelling at each other, calling each other like booty holes and stuff like that, and like all the cheesy like kindergarten phrases that you could ever think of.
No, hey, you had fun. So, I'm surprised. So, it was your grandparents that really got you into the gaming. So, your mom was opposed to that. She didn't buy you in games. She wasn't really involved. She didn't, because I know my parents. They know I play video games. They buy me video games. But if I started talking about video game too in depth, they're like, all right, Summoner's Rift, whatever that is. Yeah, go play.
Hey, go team!
Yeah, exactly. Why aren't you?
um, my mom bought me like a few games every now and again, but she didn't really like me spending all this time in the house. I mean, I'd be in the house or I'd be outside hanging out with my buddies, and like most of my buddies, they all played video games too. So it was just like we'll be outside for like an hour and come inside for like 6 hours.
Just how it
It
went.
it kind of worked out,
Yeah. So,
and with gosh, so she didn't really like that much. But my grandparents are like, you know what, this is keeping you out of trouble. You're not doing anything stupid. You're not getting in trouble with the law. You're not going to jail or doing substance abuse and stuff like that. So you know what? We support you 100%.
nice. I mean, hey, video games are awesome. They do. They don't get you, like you said, don't get you in trouble. Don't really doesn't,
Oh,
culture to anything. You're usually by yourself until the online became really popular.
yeah.
That was a big thing. But so from the N64, you had the Gateway Tower where you're playing Doom and whatnot. So what did you went back and forth? How did you get back into the computer gaming? Did you buy your own computer? Did you
Okay.
build your computer? Laptop? Oh, please don't tell me you have a laptop.
Okay.
You're
We're gonna get to this. So what's it called? I went from the N64. Then I played a lot of games on the PlayStation for a while. I was a console gamer for a number of years.
I love the PlayStation. If random
Yes, I went.
fact.
Then I went from my PlayStation 2, and I had a GameCube. I had the one GameCube game. I'm gonna say this now that I love now and forever is Fantasy Star Online episodes 1 and 2. I remember religiously playing that game after school after I finished my homework.
So before you continue, what is that game about? Because I have no idea. I'll be honest, never played it.
Um, it's like take like the Final Fantasy MMO that's out right now
Okay, okay.
and pretty much make it that, but for the GameCube. Like in my eyes, that game like revolutionized how I played. Like what was it? MMOs.
That was like your
But
starting then. Okay.
yeah, that was
Fair.
like the first MMO. It wasn't really an MMO, but it was like a role playing game. It was an RPG, but it was kind of like an MMO because you could play with friends and stuff like that.
I
It wasn't really online. It's hard to explain, but all I know is I just loved that game
it was like an
100%.
it was like an RPG and not online, pretty much. It was not an MMO, but you could play with friends, which is an RPG, pretty
Yeah,
much.
there you go. That
I
thing.
mean, that would be mind blowing. For the GameCube, you would never think of when people think of GameCube, you have the next Smash Bros, of course, and then you have
Yeah.
the Mario, but an RPG off the GameCube, interesting. So is that how you kind of shifted into the computer games then, or?
That gave me the taste for like role playing games and like really enjoying those. And I really then I got an Xbox, and then this is where I said screw PlayStation. And I got me an Xbox. I played Gears of War, and I used to play the first couple Call of Duties like before they went terrible, and Halo. Remember I was one of those kids that those stereotype kids that will cuss at you because you did something wrong on these games.